On today's episode, we talk about Tech Week Grand Rapids 2026. It's one of the best technical events of the year and in September. And we also talk about AI policy and how to start an AI policy within your company. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the AI Lab Unfiltered podcast. I am Drew Veach from BizStream, and I'm joined by Mr. Pete Tarrant from Prescott AI.
Thanks for having me, Drew.
I'm glad you could make
You're
it.
the
Glad you
best.
could make it in.
You're such a good guy.
So we always like to start this off by giving some thanks to Think Tank Thought Leadership. They helped us build this entire podcast, literally from idea to vision to reality.
Soup to nuts, some would say.
Soup to nuts. And they have been super instrumental. I mean, the whole studio, the lights, the graphics, the helping us even with the name originally. It's just really come together. It doesn't even have to be a technical podcast. That's one thing I did want to throw out. It doesn't have to be a technical I know ours is kind of technical, I guess, but it can be any kind of podcast. They handle everything, all different genres, and they just understand how to brand it. They understand how to market it. They understand how to put it all together. They do a beautiful job with the recording and the editing, all of this stuff.
And we're living proof that you don't have to be good either.
Exactly.
You can just be two warm bodies in a room.
That's
Or
it.
one. You just do it with one person.
Yeah, you could.
But on that, though, if you do want to be cool, you should have a podcast. And if you're going to have a podcast, you should do it with Think Tank Thought Leadership.
There we go.
How about that?
That's perfect.
Sells itself.
And you didn't have to read that time.
No.
It's super exciting today. We have one of our, I would say, founding members of
Yeah.
this.
Is this your third time on? I think?
Second, I think. Yeah, or maybe third.
Might be the third. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
Well, we'll make it 3 if it's not. Miss Jen Wangler from The Right Place. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Great to be here, as always.
So excited to have you on. So I want to get to it because it's one of my, literally one of my favorite events in Grand Rapids, Tech Week Grand Rapids,
Yeah,
September
14th through the 20th.
Yes. Tell me about what I'm interested in, and I was dying to ask you about this too. When you started this a couple years ago, it was kind of, hey, let's put this together. It had a great response. Mm-hmm. The next year, it grew so much more, and now it's got to be even bigger.
Yeah. So we're on our 4th year, believe it or not. It's crazy. Where does time go? Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah. So that first year, we had maybe 50 events, maybe 50 events, very small gathering, but we had all of 6 weeks to put it together.
Yeah.
Most people know in Grand Rapids, we launched a 10-year tech strategy. And so one of the things that we said, or one of the opportunities that came out of that, was this desire to build our brand of tech in West Michigan, tell our story. And so we knew that we had to build a tech week to be able to do that, to invite in guests from outside of Michigan, just to show off the capacity of the companies that we have here. I feel like just by the work that I do, I have the secret sauce, but we have to do better at telling that story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of where it was born from, but every year it just gets bigger and better. And people ask me all the time, what do you attest that to? And I say it's the community.
Yeah.
I mean, Tech Week is really an unconference conference in that the companies themselves put the events on. They market them, they reach into their networks and bring people together. I mean, that's really the secret sauce of it, from a truly non-competitive spirit. So you guys, BizStream puts events on.
Yep.
Prescott is putting some events on. So that truly is the magic behind it. And then every year we get these amazing speakers that come and kick off the event. So I wish I could have brought some good news today, but we're not allowed to announce it until Monday. So stay tuned.
Oh, a little teaser.
Yeah, yep.
Nice.
So stay tuned. The announcement will come out on Monday, and I think you'll be pleased.
All right.
Oh, that's awesome. And you guys do get like legit huge speakers. I have no idea how
You know,
you make it look easy, I should say.
well, I mean, there is a lot of work behind it, and shout out to Andrea Ramkama from our team, who does some magical things to get great speakers in. But I'm always surprised at the level or the caliber of speakers and the interest that they have in giving back to communities like Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
There truly is, something to that, and that if you're looking for speakers, look for those that have that desire to give back as well too, because we've also had others that we've approached and their price point was just
Yeah.
way out of market for ours. So
You're talking about me.
yeah, exactly. You and Drew.
Yeah.
Right
We'll
Sorry.
work for food.
You- But I mean, you can't announce who it is yet. But if we talk about the caliber of people that you've had, so Steve Wozniak last year,
Yeah.
was it Malcolm Gladwell? Was that 3 years ago?
Yep.
Who was in between? I don't remember who that.
Stephen Dubner.
Stephen Dubner.
Dubner,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like these are like
Legit,
global speakers, legends in their fields,
Yeah.
and they're in West Michigan, Grand Rapids,
Yeah.
Michigan, in our Tech Week, which is just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm hoping that, every year when I'm seeing it, we get more guests from outside of Michigan, which is great. I mean, people kind of watch, what's happening. They see the press releases about the growth and stuff. So that's good. That means that kind of we're expanding that brand.
And that's one thing I wanted to ask about. You said, the first time we had 6 weeks to do it, and obviously it's grown exponentially since then. So to get that message out, the original vision behind it of we really want to get our place on the map, that we're a very much a tech hub. Have you seen that kind of unfold nationally of more people nationally just really looking at it going, oh, wow, these guys really know their stuff?
I have. A little bit of that is the amount that our team at the Right Place and the back end work that they do to put out marketing pieces and publications around the event itself. So it's a number of that. But it's also professionals like yourselves just going out when you go out to trade shows and stuff, telling the story, and then others kind of watching from year to year. That first year we kind of put the message out. The second year we saw more people come in, and people tend to watch it. And as they see the event grow in size, then they get more excited about it, and then they come in and they tell others about it. So, yeah.
That's exciting.
I think it's such an awesome, you mentioned the really the beauty of this is the people.
Yes.
And when you attend these events, and they're like well attended events too, like you don't walk in somewhere and there's 3 people sitting in a
Right,
room
right.
listening to a lecture, like packed rooms,
Yeah.
large rooms, auditoriums that are full of people. But there's also cool events where they're more just like networking.
Yes.
And there's not necessarily a speaker, but it's bringing people together.
Yes.
And when you walk around these, it's all smiles and hugs and like people making great connections.
It's like homecoming.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a great analogy.
Tech Week homecoming. Yeah.
And I think it's just such a testament to, we call it Midwest nice or,
Sure.
whatever you want. But
Yeah.
people are so welcoming and they're so willing to help.
Yeah.
And this is a big part of what you do is connecting, somebody that needs this with somebody that has that. And that's all happening organically in these rooms because it just kind of self-perpetuates. If you do something nice for somebody, well, they're like, well, I'm going to do something good for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this
Yeah.
connection. And great business is still getting done, but it's done in a way that's like not intimidating. Just a lot of great people.
Rising tides. I
Yeah.
always say we have a very rising tides community, and we have leaders like both of you that have a passion far beyond the companies that they run or even the technology that they promote. And that doesn't happen everywhere.
Yeah.
It really is our secret sauce. Well, let's talk a little bit more about some of the events that are happening during
Awesome.
Tech Week.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is called our VC Insights and Innovation. So every great tech week brings their capital partners together, right, to support kind of that innovative company or founder that's growing in your community. So we have a couple of things. The first, it's an event on Wednesday, September 16th, and it brings together our VCs and our angel investors. It also highlights the founders that are emerging tech in West Michigan. This year, we're going to have what we call an exit panel. So we're going to share the exit stories that we've had. We've had some great announcements this past year alone. And then we're going to top that off with a VC dinner. So every great tech week has a couple of networking opportunities for folks to come in from Michigan and outside of Michigan to be able to see, you know, what investment looks like and how can we creatively support the next economy.
That's great.
That's awesome.
I think to have like great examples that you can share of people that are exiting, like that's going to be inspiring for people that maybe it's not necessarily on their roadmap or their radar.
Sure.
But now they've got people that they can go talk to and say, hey, I heard you speak at Tech Week and you did this. Like, can we grab dinner or coffee and talk more about like what that journey was like for you? And a lot of great learning could happen there. So
yeah, it's exciting. We have back for the third year, we'll have a Women in Tech, which will be on, we call it our Coffee Circle Tech Week, which will be on that Monday morning. Of course, our Tech Week kickoff, which tickets go on sale next week, so you'll want to get those right away.
Yeah.
We have a really cool showcase that we do on that Tuesday for students. And I'm going to forget the number, but it's huge. And it is to kind of show that next generation what's happening in tech. So we'll be doing that again this year. I'm going to miss something that I'm going to feel terrible. And then just I know that, Pete, you're doing an event, right?
Yep.
Around kind of AI and what's happening with that. And BizStream is
We're
doing
a MarTech event. Yeah.
Okay, so a number of things. So more to come, and I would just tell folks to keep checking the website because we have new ones added every day.
yeah, the website is great because you can sort by dates and times and things, and it has nice write-ups of what the events are and where they're at. It's very well done, easy to navigate.
Good.
So that's great. I'm thinking of a couple of my favorite ones from last year. There was one that I attended, and it was a kind of a live, there's a name for this, and the name escapes me, but there was, when you talked about students, it reminded me of it. And it was like a coding competition. They were all building something. And there was like 8 different groups of students, and they were all building like the teams of 3 or 4.
Oh, very cool.
And at the end, they got reviewed by business owners that have software development companies here, and they were reviewing what they had built and giving them feedback and kind of coaching them along. And I thought that was super cool.
That's awesome.
And then Drew and I went to one that was hosted by GRCC. It was AI related, and they were talking about AI vision. And it was a hands-on deal. So everybody had a computer that you logged into, and there was this piece of software there that had like it was kind of manufacturing defect driven.
Okay.
Where you uploaded a bunch of examples of defects for a particular part in this manufacturing process.
Sure.
And a bunch of images of what it looked like when it was right. And then the software, as you would imagine things going down the line, it would take a photo of it. And because it knew what bad looked like and it knew what good looked like, a person didn't have to sit there and, inspect that and pick it
Yeah.
up and look at it. The computer vision did that. And you did that in real
So
time in this session. Like, where else can you do that? And
Yeah.
the room was packed. It was standing room only for
Yeah,
people that
it was
wanted
packed.
to do that. It was awesome.
Well, manufacturing is still our largest industry sector here, and so we're going to have to continue to cross-pollinate the AI learnings that we are seeing with our manufacturing, and find ways to empower that community to be able to build and work in this next economy.
Yeah. Well, there's such a wealth of AI knowledge, and we're very fortunate that you've connected us to a million of these people here in West Michigan. And I think it's really going to help power and lift up all these businesses here, because it's starting to get very pervasive throughout. And people are starting to latch onto this, and there's so much great knowledge here. So I think that's going to help a lot too.
And I think going back to the community side of things, I think when AI first started hitting the scene heavily, it was more of a closely guarded. I don't know how to use it yet, but it's trade secrets.
Yeah.
I think now it's more of a, here's what we learned how to use it and where
Sure.
not to use it, and here's how
Sure.
you can implement it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of that cooperation now
Yeah.
that's going on, where it's companies coming together to show how they're using it. And because I think everybody sees the bigger picture of, we need to stay viable as an entire group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we elevate that?
Yeah, right. So part of what I do at the Right Place is just a number of company visits and just asking that question, like, how
Yeah.
are you using AI? What platform are you using? What's the most popular? And we're still very much in this test phase, right? So finding, what I've heard is most companies are finding those people that are curious
Yep.
on their teams, and that want to spend a little extra time, are geeky enough like me to spend time on the weekends and nights just tinkering around and seeing what works, and then using those learnings to write the next chapter and start
Yeah.
from there. And then the important work that both of you are doing out in industry, helping to make sure that the companies do it in a safe way.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. It's the thing that comes up the most in our conversations. People are, first of all, they're like, yes, we know we need to do this, but I don't know what I can put into it. Where's my data
Right.
going? Like, those are the kind of questions that we're constantly answering when
A lot of security questions.
Right,
Yep.
right. I don't know, Pete, can we talk about the work that we're doing together?
I would love to.
Is that okay? Is it okay, Drew?
Yeah,
We
I
take
I
that
thought you'd
topic?
never ask.
Okay. Well, so Pete and I were talking one day, and I, from a very curious standpoint, said, I'm really starting to see a lot of work around agency, right? I think that this is the year of agency, and I would love to build Gen 2.0 or an agent, right, that can kind of do that thoughtful connection work. The other trend that I was seeing is there continues to be a lot of brilliant people moving back into Grand Rapids. We saw this just after the pandemic,
Really?
right? And people went back to remote work, and so
Yeah.
I had people moving back from Meta and Microsoft and AWS and all kinds of other large companies, and they were working from home. Maybe family brought them back, whatever the scenario. They were working from home, and they wanted to get out and meet the community and network with other people, other peers. And so I continue to see that today, that in spite of all of the biggies coming back and saying you need to move back closer to home, that's still happening. But yet there wasn't a place outside of Jen's shrinking orbit to keep all of those connections and make all of those thoughtful connections. And so I'd go to bed at night and I'd be like, oh man, I forgot to make that introduction. So I kept a notepad next to my desk and I'm like, all right, this isn't working. We have to do something else. So from a curious perspective, I asked Pete, I'm like, I wonder if I could build like an agent that just
Yeah.
is always thinking about that. And then just recommends on a weekly basis, a few thoughtful connections that I can make. And so we're walking through that. We're approaching it from a very safe perspective. I built a separate, I call it my Google Sandbox, which the sole purpose of that sandbox is just to keep the contacts. And then from that, we're starting to build kind of the agent and making sure that it knows what thoughtful connections look like. And so we're tracking when I make a thoughtful connection from that sandbox, we'll track that in a separate section that we call skills. And
Yep.
Pete has taught me how to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because what we're asking the agent to do are to make thoughtful introductions. But what was happening is the emails that it was sharing with me sounded very robotic. They weren't in my voice.
Sure. Sure.
And so the skills section is helping us train that agent on what it sounds like from Jen when she makes an introduction. So
Perfect.
I would say we're doing this in a very thoughtful and safe way to begin with. But I'm excited about it. It has already made some connections that I would never have thought about.
That was cool. The last time we met, and we were meeting once or twice a week, depending on schedules. And the last time we just were live, we said, "Hey, make a connection for," I forget, what it was, and it listed 2 people.
Yeah.
And the first person, we were like, "Oh, well, I think that person changed jobs. I got to update that." And the second one, you're like, "I didn't even think about that person."
Mm-hmm.
So it highlighted this connection that you wouldn't have, and nobody can remember anything.
No,
right.
right.
And it's not has nothing to do with diminishing abilities.
Yeah.
There's just more and more demands for our memory all the time, and you
Yeah.
just can't keep it all in your head.
Sure.
And that's where these agents become so helpful, as they don't forget.
Right.
And what I think is cool too, and why I love working with you on this, is I'm not doing it for you. So we're like sharing a screen,
Yeah.
and you've got your Claude pulled up, and you're doing it, and you're learning, because eventually, I'm going to let go of the bike seat, and you're going to pedal off into the sunset, and be able to do this on your own.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is awesome about it, and knowing that you're curious and where you're at too. Like, the more you learn about this, the better conversations you're going to have when
Yep.
you're meeting with
Yep.
companies, because
Sure.
you know how this stuff works more now.
Yeah.
And you can make suggestions to people. So
Yeah,
it's fun.
absolutely. As a business developer, one of the things that I talk about often is I ran a company years ago, and that gave me that, I guess, that ownership or that confidence to be able to do the work that I do today, right? Because I've sat in your seat to work with business owners. I feel like this is the same. I couldn't go out
Yeah.
and meet with companies on the tech of the future and these types of things without having walk it through it
Yeah.
myself.
Get your hands dirty with it. Yeah.
Right. And I have to tell you, you do not have to be an engineer to do this stuff. You have to be curious and willing to learn and willing to fail and feel safe and have a partner like a Prescott or a BizStream alongside you. I do think that is important. I don't think I would have had the confidence or the feeling of safety without that.
I think that's it too. No matter what we're doing, if we're cooking, if we're putting an electrical outlet in, there's somebody who is an expert there, and you kind of get all the way there, but you just want to gut check it with somebody to
Sure.
say,
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
is this safe? And if I
Yeah.
put my screwdriver here, am I going to blow my hand off, or
Exactly.
Yeah.
what's going to happen? And yeah, so it's helpful. Be curious. That was the first thing you said, and I think that's the biggest thing. You've got to be curious, and you've got to. And you also said be willing to fail. Who cares if you screw it up?
Yeah.
You created a whole separate Google account that Claude is connected to. It could delete that file tomorrow,
Yeah.
and you just copy it back over from where it's nice and safe in your main account, right?
Sure.
And that's why we built it that way, so we can blow it up and
Yeah.
just start over again.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point, because you and I talk about all the apps and the programs that we have built. We've never, other than a couple of times, we've never really talked about, oh yeah, and there was like 4 dozen other ones that completely
Right,
bombed,
right.
that were terrible.
Yeah.
But it was always like a stepping stone to the next one.
Right.
You go,
Yeah.
all right, this isn't working. I got to start over from scratch. But now I understand it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Built the next one, started using that, and then it's okay. I got to rebuild this again, and just it reiterated over time like that.
Yeah. Nobody
it's-
starts off
Yeah.
with a chainsaw and a log and like creates this beautiful dragon statue,
Exactly.
right? Like, you're gonna screw up. And then you go grab another piece of wood and you start over again, and that's
Sure.
how you learn.
But it's so exciting. I mean, I can see it on your face
really
going, oh my
exciting.
gosh,
Yeah.
this is so cool. It's saving me time. It's a
Right.
productive app that I can now use. And
Yeah.
what else is possible?
Yeah.
Should have seen us when we connected the Google account. I was there like, yes, it works. Oh, there we go.
Success,
Yeah,
right?
it was
right.
awesome.
One
Yeah.
step at a time.
Yeah.
It is exciting. I get into a lot of theoretical questions and discussions with folks about AI and the good and bad of it. And I said, the good part is that it does give you a set of skills that you might not have had before. And so you're not starting from a white paper. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. That's exciting.
I think from the manufacturing perspective, that's where it gets challenging, right? From somebody that ran a manufacturing company, we did a lot of inspection, and failure was not a thing, right? It was not allowed, and so I still think that that thought process is still pretty prevalent today. So, how do you do that? You're still a little risk adverse, but yet be able to do some different things in tech
Yeah.
with that.
For you, so you didn't share any information with me about who or whatever, but yesterday we were having a conversation about a manufacturer. And the project that you were talking about is not on the line. It's not in like actual production, but it's in more like data collection and stuff like that. Like start there.
Yeah.
And that's a nice, easy, I don't know if you want to talk how much you can talk about that, but
It's essentially connecting. It's a large manufacturer that is looking at very much not on the assembly line of their actual output, but way up the chain of, if we're trying to engineer out a piece, we've got 6 different programs we have to run this through, and
Yeah.
it's very manual of extracting and putting it into the next one, extracting, put it into the next one. Very data heavy, very data intensive of filling out the boxes, making sure that's done. So we're building a program that literally takes it from beginning to end with human in the loop right now.
Sure.
But it's easier to go, yep, that looks good, keep going,
Yeah.
while they're working on something else. And it actually, they input their data in the beginning and it runs it through engineering it out, testing it, QAing the whole piece, running stress tests on it, as far as like the parts that they're actually making, and
Sure.
then kicking it out in the end and saying, this is exactly what you need in a very comparable format of what they use internally,
Sure.
taking it from all these different sources and interpreting it all the way down to the end, to where at the end file format and the data that's in there is exactly the protocol they use internally. So
Yeah.
now they can take it anywhere internally
Love
to the
that.
next step, and it's easily readable
Sure.
and consistent. So
I love that. And that's truly where the time saving is.
that's
right?
exactly it. Because right now
Yeah.
they're going, this takes thousands of hours, man hours a year. And if we can knock that down, that's going
Yeah.
to be way better.
Think what else we can do. Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is. We were recording the episode before this, and we were talking about time saving. So the first thought you would have is, well, there goes my job. But we were just talking about how people are still working the same amount of hours in their week, even if
Yeah.
they're heavily using AI, because they're
Yeah.
making certain things easier. But
Yeah.
now they're able to get to other things that they couldn't get to
Right.
before. So, and I think that's really where this is going. As much as I would love to work 0 days a week,
Yeah.
we're still going to be working 5-hour work weeks for a long time, even with AI and as heavy as we use it, because you're just finding more, stuff to do.
Absolutely. So I'm curious from your guys' perspective too. The question I get a lot is from a CEO's perspective or leader's perspective. How much knowledge do they have to have around AI in order to feel comfortable enough to talk about it in their companies?
I would say they have to have, number one, like Pete always says, you have to have that curiosity to explore it. Number one. And you always have to have the security and ethics in the background of that, to say, let's take it piece by piece, little chunks by chunk, and to figure out how we're going to use this, and to rally your team together to say, I don't know how this works, but we're going to figure this out.
Sure.
I think having that at the top
Yeah.
come down to go, oh, okay, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to trial and error this out.
Sure.
We're going to put some guardrails on here, and we're going to figure out what those guardrails are in this room. And to have that kind of mindset coming from leadership versus, I see a lot of CEOs and even CTOs going, we have to know everything about it before we can roll it out to our company, before we can even mention it to anybody. I think that's the wrong way of doing it.
Sure.
Because you're not going to know everything around it. And I guarantee there's people in that room that know aspects that you don't already, because
Right.
they're using it in some fashion.
Right.
So get your leadership team together to say, how do we figure this out? How do we use AI in some of these scenarios?
Yeah.
What's our policy going to be?
Yeah.
And it does not have to be an 8,000 page policy
Sure.
that nobody's going to look at unless you run it through AI to read it.
Right.
Right.
Start with one page, a
Yeah.
one-page policy, and build on it from there.
Yeah.
That's kind of the biggest thing.
that.
I know you're running into the same thing too, where it's like,
Yeah, I don't know if I have a lot to add to that because I agree with that. I think it has more to do with the kind of leader that CEO is.
Sure.
If they already have built a team that they just want to support and say, you guys tell me what you need and I'll get you the resources that you need.
Yeah.
That kind of leader doesn't need to know anything about
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
They just need to know, like, okay, get these people some coaching, like what we're doing.
Resources.
Someone that can
Yeah.
walk you through how to use these in your daily work. And I really do think it starts at the executive leadership team and getting people comfortable there, and then you can start to propagate that through. But if you're more hands-on, find someone who's willing to coach you and take you through these tools and get you learned up on what it is. Attend Tech Week. I bet there's going to be 100 AI
Yeah.
events at
Yeah.
Tech Week. Go to as many of those as you can,
Sure.
and you're going to start to hear success stories. You're going to see you're going to get inspired because you're going to say, well, first of all, you're going to realize that if you're not doing anything with it right now, you better get your ass in gear and
Yeah.
start learning it. But you're also going to hear some really cool stories from companies like ours and others that are doing really cool things and things that you might not have thought of. And it's going to go, oh, we do that in our company. Let's have a talk. Now you can go connect with that person because everyone's so approachable. Anybody that's putting these events on, they want you to come up to them afterwards and ask questions and
Yeah.
make introductions and spend time with them, buy them coffee, buy them dinner,
Yeah.
whatever, and just start getting involved.
going back to the will work for food.
We're so easy. If you buy me a coffee, I will talk to you for.
You want to go out
AI
for beers? We're going to talk
Right.
the
As
whole
long
night
as you
about
want.
AI.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no shortage of things. It's just so fun. Like we sit once a month. We sit in here for 4 hours straight and talk about nothing but AI.
Yeah.
And I am not exhausted. I am energized by the end of it.
Yeah.
I want to go 4 more. Like we
Yeah.
love talking about
We
this
always
stuff.
joke because it's like, oh, there goes my weekend. That's what I learned today on this podcast. We're recording
We're going to
Friday.
practice.
Yeah.
Tonight, as
Right.
soon as I get home, I'm going to
Exactly.
fire this up and try it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that, governance and policy is going to be another important component this year.
Yep.
This year and next year. I hope we have a lot of discussions around that because I think that leaders will feel better once there is a smidge of that
Yeah.
in kind of taking it to the next level. And I know at the right place, we're walking through it as a nonprofit. How do we embrace AI and where is the best? What does the strategy look like for us? So
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on the governance thing a little bit, and this is kind of where I think I've landed. So going back to your CEO who just like, how much do I need to know?
Yeah.
Have an initial conversation with your leadership team. Open up any of these free LLMs if you don't have one, and ask it to write you an AI acceptable use policy, and it's going to give you something decent.
Yeah.
And just start there. You don't have to go get your lawyers involved or do this big
Yeah.
giant committee. Now you've got a little bit of a framework. Get the executive team involved and use that framework. And then as things progress, then revisit it. And then you can go and you can build on that. I don't think the governance is as complicated as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
It depends on your industry. If you have HIPAA compliance issues, there's a little bit more there, but you're already dealing with that in everything else you do anyway. So you already understand that framework.
Yeah.
If you don't have those kind of, what am I trying to say? If you don't have those guardrails that you have to hold to,
Yeah.
then just start with something simple. What are you going to break?
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
start.
Well, and Drew, I loved your comment about, there's probably somebody in your organization
Yeah.
that's tinkering around with it. AI is different than, a tool that, or a platform that we have at work that we use for work, right? You can use it both ways. And so there probably are a number of people that are using it. So the question will be, okay, when does equity come into play, right? And who are those few chosen few that are going to be able to get paid subscriptions in your organizations? Are they going to be farther ahead than the others because you didn't? And so there are all those questions too that intrigue me.
And then building upon that policy, like you were saying, based on, there's people that are in that room. I don't want to say we called it out, but we've essentially called it out in a nice way of, I guarantee there's people in this room that we're talking to that are using AI, even though your quote unquote policy is nobody's using AI right now till we can figure it out. Sure enough, like 5 people,
Yeah.
I've been using it.
Yeah.
It's like you
Right.
can't, when it clicks, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
It's a living document, that policy. And to implement in some of the things, those guardrails and some of the team policies too, going,
Yeah.
okay, we are going to open, like you said, let's open it to a select few.
Sure.
Leadership now gets access to a subscription of Claude.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the team version of it. There's a great way to add that into your policy to
Yeah.
then corral costs as well.
Sure.
So it's not Jen's on the $100 a month plan, Pete's on the $20 a month plan,
Yeah.
I'm on a $50 a month plan, and we're burning through tokens and we're burning
Yeah.
through subscriptions. And no, I
Yeah.
just built an app that uses these 4 other things. To have that we're now we're all on the same plan. It's kind of like the cell phone
Sure.
plan, where everybody's on the group plan with the minutes.
Right.
It just makes sense because it's financially now you can wrangle it in and say, these are all the tool sets that we're now using per month, and here's the costs that are associated with it. If
Yeah.
you have a new part of your policy, if you have a new program or you have something a new AI tool that you want to use, bring it to leadership to talk about to get you on either that plan or, hey, did you know we had these other 3 that do the same thing
Yeah.
that we already have group plans on?
Yeah.
That's a great way to start wrangling your costs together too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can run really haywire
Right.
really quick.
Right. Well, that's the importance of having you guys go in and guide a company through that. So
Right.
that's a great example.
Yeah, it's like talk to somebody who's done it before.
Yeah.
It's like anything. Yeah.
And a lot of times and I know you guys have done the same thing, let's not do AI for the sake of AI. I hope we're getting to the point where
Talked about the problem. What problem are you trying to solve?
exactly.
Yeah.
What is the initial goal you're trying to get to?
Yeah.
What is that issue? What's that problem, that pain point?
Yeah.
Now let's come up with a solution. And in our plan, it's like 4 or 5 steps down. Now
Sure.
let's look at, can AI solve that? Or is
Yeah.
this a coded issue,
Yeah.
where it's a little bit more manually put together?
I feel like that was a software discussion that we had 5 years ago, right? Everybody wanted to do an app
Yeah.
or custom software.
Yep.
And the question was, well, is there an off-the-shelf
Right,
thing that
right.
will help you first before
Yeah.
you? It's funny. I feel like
Right.
we've had
Why
that
do I need a
discussion.
mobile app to order a pizza?
Yeah.
Why do I need that?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
we talk about that a lot. It's like is technology really helping us, or is it like holding us back and putting the onus back on us to do a lot more?
Yeah. Well, that's funny because I do think for me, like, I have to sometimes take a deep breath and, okay, stop. What is this truly a problem, or is it just
Right.
seem like a fun thing where AI could tackle it?
Yeah.
Or like a lot of rabbit holes.
It's dangerous for me because I want to
You and I
want to do everything.
Yes.
Like
Uh-huh.
It's-
Yes.
In my head, it is the solution for everything, and I do have to do the same thing. Like, step back, Pete. You're just putting a pizza in the oven. You don't need
Right.
AI for that. Right? Like, relax.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's not take time away from the family.
Yeah. It is fun though. Like if you're not using it, you're not going to break anything. Like play around. Have
Recipes.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
Recipes.
I was multitasking. So I was helping a friend who owns a business and wants to do something. So I was helping her with that. But as Claude was doing its thing, I would flip over to another tab where I was writing a song about my neighbor.
There we go.
And I was having such a good time. Like, I'd be giggling. I forgot that I was doing the other work, so I'd have to go back to my other tab. But like, you can create music. You can like create funny pictures and send them to your friends. Like, that will help you learn how to prompt so much better than if you just haven't done anything. Like,
Yeah.
just creating funny memes and things to send to people.
Yeah.
Or do you see somebody post a picture, download it, alter it, and send it to them and say, "Oh, I didn't know that you went to the Great Wall of China." Like goofy stuff like that. But you'll learn
Yeah.
along the way, and it's just it can be fun. Like, it's not.
As one of the designers at our work said, we have all this technology that we built, all this AI stuff. We don't use it to solve world hunger. We use it to make better memes. I'm like, that's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Oops. Yes. Better recipes. Oops.
Well,
Yeah.
but there are people who are literally going to like cure diseases with this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some of that happening right here in Grand Rapids, which is
Yes.
awesome. We've had guests
Yes.
on
We've
that
interviewed them.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing super advanced science in imaging, and like countless lives are going to be saved by this technology too,
Yep.
Right.
and awesome memes.
Yeah.
So why can't you have both?
Right, wherever you are. And I think that's the beauty of Tech Week is it brings all of those industries and those problems to the table and says, there's this one thing that we're using on all of these different levels to solve problems.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
That's cool.
Should have a podcast.
Yeah, we should. Well, let's wrap it up. That
All right.
was actually on a good note. So, Jen, really appreciate you coming in.
You're
Such
the
a
best.
pleasure.
Clearly,
I love being
clearly
on
you're going to
the
be in
show.
here again in the next couple months. So,
We could talk forever.
We'll do
Yes.
a post tech week.
Yes.
yes, that would be a good one.
Actually, when we go live with, well, I don't know if I can say this, we'll probably get hit with this, but we're calling it Gen AI. So when we go live
Oh,
with
yeah.
that, and
Nice.
it's truly
Nice.
working itself. So
Perfect.
we'll come back.
That's awesome.
All right.
Appreciate you being on here. Tell our visitors where they can find Tech Week.
Yep. So techweek.com. That will give you all of the information around all of the events and things that are happening, the most up to date. You can certainly always reach out to me. LinkedIn is probably the best way, Jen Wangler, to help you there. But yeah, the website's the best. Again, the week is September 14th. It's all week. Most of the events happen on Monday through Thursday, a few on Friday. But then on Saturday this year, Black Tech Saturday will be hosting an event in Grand Rapids too.
Nice.
So
Nice.
there'll be stuff all week.
That's awesome. It's an exciting week, and I always take off most of that week.
Yeah.
Clear my schedule, I should say, and I'm walking all of it.
Yeah,
Like,
do
I
it.
try and hit
do it
as
now.
many
Yeah.
events as I can.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. Thanks everybody for joining us. And if you want to learn more about Tech Week, follow the link below. Thanks everyone.